Hello and welcome to Beach Out. Today I am in Bangalore and this video is going to be a very straight cut video exploring the car as I go and find things out about it as well. I am here in Bangalore and I am with the Tata Tiago EV, the revised updated Tiago EV. There is a lot to talk about, and then what we'll do is we'll also take this car out for a drive, and as per what I have gotten a briefing, there has been a lot of improvement in its overall performance as well. So without further ado, let's get things started. The Tiago EV now comes in some really interesting colors. This, then there's this. There are two more colors and all of them look pretty interesting. Not sure if everybody's cup of tea, but definitely interesting choice of colors. The whole reason for this upgrade currently is because they want to make the car sound and look a lot more youthful, connect with the younger audiences, and hence that is the reason we have such pastel shades, pretty bright, pretty youthful. Apart from the color, there is a lot which has been upgraded on the car as well. Like the entire front end is new, these headlights are new. This is the top end variant, by the way, which gets these LED headlights as well as DRLs over here. The DRLs are kind of very slim, they are very discreet, not too loud, and overall, like when you see it from the side profile, it still looks a lot like the previous generation Tiago. And what you see differently is from the front as well as from the back. Now these 14-inch wheels have also been upgraded in design. These are steel wheels at the back with this hubcap mounted on top of them. Car by default comes with MRF tires. These will be the EV specific low friction tires. Then again, the front has also been updated. It still retains that design element from the previous generation car, but apart from that, the whole design of the bumper, the whole design, a more closed off, sort of a rounded off design at the front is what we see over here. And also there's something interesting, by the way, chrome trimming you will not get if you get any other variant apart from the top of the line. Now the interesting thing is over here, what you see over here, these things are there from before. The defogger as well as the rear wiper always used to come in the top end variant, but what is different this time is back over here you have this full light bar going. Well, not exactly a light bar, but it looks like a light bar. It's more connected. Why I'm saying it's not a light bar is because this is your rear tail light cluster. This part is non-functional. It doesn't have any lighting in it, doesn't have any illumination in it. So it's kind of there only for show. I mean, just for looks, but kind of makes sense. It makes the car look a lot more seamless in terms of its wrapped around design. That said though, agar piche se if you have an accident, if you reverse into something, or if someone crashes into you from behind, this entire panel would need replacing. So what do you think? That thing can be justified or not? Let me know down in the comment section. But yeah, apart from that, the major changes that you see in this car are both back as well as on the front. The mirrors are also now updated because these now have 360-degree cameras. And overall, these colors look nice. These colors look very interesting. Lot different and kind of a very unique, very creative, very cool approach, I think, to having a otherwise normal, everyday, kind of boring car. Not really an enthusiast car, but it's a car that is very comfortable to drive. The previous one, this one we are going to drive now and find out. But yeah, the updates are actually quite interesting. Like mechanically, the car stays pretty much the same. The wheelbase is also the same. The size of the batteries, the 19.4 kilowatt hour and the 24 kilowatt hour battery packs, which are underneath the car, are also the same. The biggest difference is that in the 24 kilowatt hour battery pack, now you get a higher speed charger. So the fast charger that comes with this is a 30 kilowatt. What that means is the 24 kilowatt hour battery pack variant can now charge at a intake speed of 30 kilowatt. That means that you'll go from, let's say, 20% battery to 80% battery in about 18 minutes or 20 minutes, something like that. Really fast. Earlier that used to take close to 40-45 minutes. So they have half the time when it comes to that. That said though, the 19.4 kilowatt hour remains the same. That in itself I think is a worthy upgrade because you have no idea, specifically on small city EVs like this where you already have a very limited range. It makes so much life easy and convenient when you're able to charge almost twice as fast, which means that earlier where you were driving, let's say for 300 kilometers, you had to take a 1 hour stop. So your 5-hour journey became 6 hours. In this case, the 5-hour journey will just become 5 hour 20 minutes. So you're actually saving a lot of time. What we have over here is a very nice and refreshed interior. All of this looks really nice. It looks more Swedish than it does Tata. And I say this in the best way because the interior looks minimal. The interior looks very well sorted out. I really like the overall design aspects which they have chosen, the color combinations. It looks fresh. But the good things that I want to point out over here is that finally, we have minimal amount of glossy material over here. This is matte, which means no scratches. Again matte, no scratches. Over here on the center, no scratches, because this also is a matte finish. Every touch surface in the car is now matte, apart from this part, the air conditioning side vents, and probably this. Everything else in this car is matte. Also, both of these screens are also matte. What that does is it gives very little reflection. As you can see, I have my reflection in the screen, but even after that, because it's a matte display, it is very, very clearly visible. What Tata has done is they started using a lot of recycled material on these kind of panels, and also this wheel arch, the material for both the front and wheel arch is now made out of recycled material. So lot of brownie points for this car. I'm sorry for my setup lying over here. Also, the top end variant now comes with armrest and also rear AC vents. So what they're doing over here, I guess, is slowly and slowly with each iteration of the Tiago EV, they're sort of making this car a little bit better, a little bit more livable, and a little bit more convenient. Now, one thing I found very interesting in terms of design choice, if you look over here, these look like two wireless mats, but in fact they are not. They're just here to keep your phone so it doesn't slide around, but you still, if you want to power it, you have to still connect it from the USB ports which are down over here. Good part is one of those USB ports is actually a 65 watt USB port, which means it can not only power your phone, it can also power your laptop. Glove box, pretty decent sized glove box, nothing new or interesting there. These also feel nice. The door has a nice promising sturdy thud, and yeah, I think this is a very, very, very nice upgrade. In fact, for those of you who don't know, I own a Tiago EV since the last 3 years. 2023 is when I bought mine, and I'm close to 50,000 kilometers on my car, and it's been great. And in fact, I have been so badly tempted to upgrade to this car. I really would love to, but at this point, with the amount of upgrades and the amount of features and the amount of betterment this car has got, my car suddenly feels so old. Despite being like 2.5, 3 years old, it still feels so old that I'm pretty sure I'm going to get terrible resale value on it. That's the only thing that, you know, dissuades a lot of people, I feel, from going and converting into a proper full time EV ownership, because once you bought the car, you are hit with instant and immediate and quite aggressive depreciation. That's that. But now let's talk about and let's try finding out the other important part is how this car performs, how are its brakes as well as its suspensions when we take it out for a quick drive. Okay, now a few things that I noticed in this car even before starting to drive is that this gear selector is actually a lot more crisper than the previous car. I am giving you this review directly coming from the perspective of a current previous generation Tata Tiago EV owner. So I know a lot about how this car already handles, how this car suspensions are, and how comfortable they are. So I'm going to talk to you in that particular perspective. I am still not sure if there has been any differences made in the accuracy of that gear selector, because previously it was not very accurate. Sometimes when you are trying to put it in drive, it will not shift. You try to put it in reverse, it will not shift, and you had to go multiple times, which was a little irritating. So we'll see if that has been upgraded. This is again just like the previous car. It's a very nicely insulated cabin on the inside. I can hardly hear the honking and the rest of the road noises when I'm sitting over here. It feels like a nice car. The layout of the dials, the layout of the instrument cluster and the center console and all the materials around me actually give this car a completely fresh feel. I'm actually really liking this new digital driver's display. The previous one was an LCD unit which felt really outdated, although it did give you all the necessary information that you required, but it did feel a little outdated. So in that terms, this is really nice. Now in this car also, the functionality remains more or less the same, where it has the 3 regen modes. It has the same battery capacity, both 19.4 kilowatt hour and 24 kilowatt hour. I am driving the top end variant which has the 24-hour kilowatt battery. In theory, this car should be almost 50% to 40% faster in its overall charging speeds, or even more. The indicators still sound weird. I don't know why Tata has this obsession of giving very weird sounding indicator sound. Now when I was speaking to the product team on how and what all they have changed in particular in regard to the new Tiago EV, they said that they have tinkered around with the driving modes, specifically the normal driving mode as well as a sport mode, where you can actually feel the car being significantly faster. That the 0 to 60 time of the previous car on sport mode was close to about 7.5-8 seconds, while in the new car they have actually significantly changed that, and now the 0 to 60 time on this car should be in the mid 5s, which is actually a very decent upgrade. Now what I'm going to do today is I'm going to try driving this car over 3 different type of road surfaces. I am currently near Kempagoda Airport, and here the roads are absolutely smooth, and here the Tiago EV also feels really smooth in terms of its overall suspensions and how it is handling the undulations on the road. A pretty decent surge, not very different from how the car felt before in terms of its acceleration in drive, the normal drive city mode. But that said, the suspensions do feel as good as they were last time. The other thing which I notice is that the steering feels a lot more heavier. In a good way, the steering feels a lot more heavier compared to the previous car, which was a little too light. This feels a little heavier, this feels a little more weighted. There is a little bit of an input lag when you give an input to the steering and when the wheels actually turn, but that is kind of expected with a car with this kind of a setup. Suspensions do feel that they've stiffened up just a little bit, and I think that is important because the previous generation Tiago had very soft suspensions, and because of that they did bounce a little bit when you were doing high speeds. At the same time, when you were trying to take a corner, the suspensions were so soft that you used to very easily get into an understeer. On the throttle pedal, the sport mode would just give you a jerk and go. This feels a little more relaxed when, at least when initially pressing on the throttle pedal, and when you put your foot down, yep, it just fires off, typical of how a EV does, where you have all of the torque right from the get-go. It feels faster, definitely. I am not sure if it feels 5.6 seconds fast. Definitely feels a little faster compared to the previous generation car. So that is one thing I really love about this car. I have owned the Tiago from 3 years, and now I can confidently say that in this category, if you're looking for a EV, this has to be one of the best products in terms of its overall value for money, in terms of the feature, in terms of the range that you get. There are other brands out there, but then some of them, the suspensions are not good because the tire size is too small. The MG Comet. This car is now 7 lakh rupees for the starting variant, and that I think is really good pricing. Now I'm out of that airport area where they have nice, fancy, slick and smooth roads, and I'm onto some actual Bangalore roads, the kind of roads people over here drive each and every day on the way to office and back. And I think all of us can somewhere or the other relate to it, because come on, let's be real, in most of our cities this is 19-20 ka farak hai, but that's how the roads are in most those places as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try driving this car a little bit over those bad and broken patches of road and tell you a little bit more about how this car's suspensions feel. Man, I am over some really terrible roads, okay? I am over some really terrible, bad and broken patches of road, and I can tell you the suspensions on this car are brilliant, just like how they were in the previous generation Tiago EV. The suspensions on this version are also similar, but I'd say a little better, because man, the kind of road surfaces I am on right now, if it was any other car, in most cases the suspensions would not been able to keep these kind of bad and broken potholes in check. Man, I'm putting the car through some really deep and bad potholes, and as you can see from my voice and from overall my posture, I'm doing okay, man. These are really nasty, really nasty potholes. Yes, I think this is 100% definitely a very worthy upgrade if somebody is looking to upgrade to the new Tiago EV from his previous Tiago. Good suspensions, good comfort, lots of features on the inside, and almost double charging speed. It's all great. It really is. Alright, now for that one test which has no relation with how this car handles, but is very important because it is a huge irritating factor in the previous car. So let me see if I can reverse out of here quick by using that dial. So drive mode, I am straight, stop, reverse. I have already engaged reverse, back. If it's a tight space, I'll have to reverse again or put it in drive, then again stop, then again reverse, then again stop, drive, stop, reverse, stop, drive. Nope, it missed. It still missed. Yeah, that's what it misses once, it misses again. Reverse, drive, reverse, drive, still on drive. While it is better, maybe slightly, but the issue is not completely eliminated. If you are in a tight spot and you have to make multiple quick turns, it's still going to irritate you a little bit.